Okay, first of all, do you have any, who's in the room right now and has positions running? Anybody? Aussie CHF. Okay, what else? Kathy? GBP JPY, Edward? Okay, let's start with GBP JPY first because I haven't used the CAD. Okay, there we go. So we have a lot of positions to discuss. Euro, Yen, and FP. Kathy, okay, great. Let's discuss all of it. First of all, okay, now that we have all the pairs here, let's start with the Euro US dollar actually, and then we go to each and every trade there. Like always, remember here our support on the Euro US dollar. We expected to bounce because this really looked like a weekly 1, 2, 3, correct? So we got our bounce. Price moved up about 240 pips. We saw some action at last after NFP. A little bit before, the day before also, of course, but yeah, it took a while. So the market looks like it wants to move a little bit again. And just by checking the daily chart, you can see the bounce on the 200, right? Price bounced on the 200 as expected, close to our support line, and it moved up to here. Now, if you just look at it, we can also spot lower highs on the chart. Okay, so still right now the price broke the 36. That's a good sign, and hopefully it will go up because we have that weekly 1, 2, 3. We always had also had the NFP news, and it made the market and this pair move also a little bit. So hopefully it goes up, trying to reach the highs, right? Now as I said, look at the weekly chart. If that happens, 1.39 is the resistance. That's the highest point, right? But we will target, of course, the highs from 2011, which will be 1.42. Yeah, we have a lot of resistance in this area between 40 and 42 here. But ideally, it would be great if the price could reach this area, at least getting close to this area. So what we do, we don't leave it at 42 or 40. We leave it somewhere in the middle, 41, 50 for instance. It's a good area of resistance, and hopefully if that candle closes green and the price moves up, we can really target this area for longs. Okay, so let's see. USD CHF, it's the opposite, of course, but because it's in this range, we don't favor this pair right now. If you like it, okay, no problem. But other than that, the Euro US dollar looks just better on the chart right now. Cable also, here we have our daily chart. Okay, remember from the weekly chart we had the bounce. Price bounced on major resistance. And ideally for the short traders, we want to target the 36 EMA or even resistance much lower, where we had the touches close to 159 and previous support and resistance areas down here. But first of all, if the price really wants to move lower, we'll target the 36 EMA. Now here on the daily chart, you see we have already the daily 1, 2, 3, something we expected, right? So because we had this trend line break on the daily, and also some lower time frame entries for the shorts, it should be a win-win situation. But now that the price retraced back to the 36, this has become a daily short 1, 2, 3 setup. And that's the crucial point now, right? We want to see, yes, the price was moving up after check on the lower time frames after NFP, but now it really sits on resistance, and we have this 1 2 3 below the trend line. So ideally, really, if you're not already short, of course, you want to see the break and the red candle, and then we would focus on shorts to target first of all the 200 EMA, which is close to the 36 on the weekly, but then of course the lowest points down here to 1.49 in extension, of course. Okay, very important. So this again on the watch list, please, for everybody. Could be a powerful trade. You see, like I said, on the 4-hourly chart, it's trying, but on the 4-hourly you still have the 36 as support. So it's very, very, very important that that breaks first, because if it stays here and breaks up, then the short scenario is out of the window. You manage the remaining positions and you focus on longs, because actually on the weekly chart this is still an uptrend. Okay, just because we got the daily trend line break, that's why we focus on shorts, and we have a big buffer and good targets here. Okay, is anybody trading on the USDN still? I know that some of you had shorts here. Right now, is anybody in the room having still the short on the USDN? Again here, remember. Kathy? Okay. Great. So on the weekly chart, right? This is our support, and this is forming a long 1 2 3 setup. Okay, that looks. So now, because it sits on the 12 EMA here, two things can happen. It follows through, it goes down to support. That would be great for us as a scenario, because we know that we have the 36 and a lot of support, and that's where we find we will look for bounces, right? The first reaction in this area should be a bounce, and then maybe price moving higher, or it will create a lower high, but this lower high could still be a move of 200-300 pips. So ideally price goes down to here, then we can maximize also the shorts, and if it's bouncing, okay, we have to manage the short and maybe check for longs. But if it breaks, of course, we stay in the shorts or look for new short setups afterwards. So this is an area, because it's sitting with the price now is sitting between, actually on support here and down here. It moved already almost 400 points, so it's in the middle of nowhere right now, and that's why we have to watch closely and follow the daily charts, where we have a 1 2 3 in making. Okay, it didn't quite reach the 36 here by the pip or something, but it is a 1 2 3, and if we have a little bit volatility, hopefully later on, and we see a break, then okay, you just stay in the shorts, target the 200 and the support line, of course. Okay, if it breaks, you forget the shorts, and then you have to look for at least 4-hourly daily 1 2 3s to go long. So on the watch list, this one as well. Anybody trading the Aussie? Did anybody get the chance to trade the Australian dollar? We got our 4-hourly 1 2 3 here. Remember, as we said last week, hopefully we see a touch on the 36 here. We still have the old line, so we got the retracement, and after the 1-hourly 1 2 3s, we got the 4-hourly 1 2 3s. I don't know if anybody took advantage of this. This is going up, and now that we on the daily chart, that we have our new targets, like for instance, let me show you, after the break, okay, with a stop of about 70 pips, this reached the first target only. But if the price moves up, it would be great for us to target this area of resistance, okay, 0.9150. Of course, you have much more touches higher up here, coming from August 2013, but lately the previous one in December, the lows or the highs on the downtrend were here, so it's a good target. It's also covering more than twice the stop. So in this case, when the price reaches this area, it will be a win-win for good. And then on the weekly chart, it's also close to your 36 EMA and the trend line coming from up here, right? So it's a good area of resistance, and it's a good target for now. And if the price reaches the 36, then we watch closely. It might bounce and move lower, or if it breaks, then of course we start looking for longs again. Okay, great. USD Canadian dollar. Again, as we said, if it comes out of this range, it will probably go down, which it did, but not for long, about 100 pips lower, and then it moved up again. So if we check our daily chart, this was a touch on the 36 EMA, okay, or at least close to it. And some of you have longs. I think Brazil has a long here still since down here. And the price moved up. I think I'm not sure which entry was it. Somewhere here, I think somewhere here, right? And price moved up about almost 600 pips, retraced 250 pips. So this is a very good exercise again of patience, having the patience to wait for the price retracing back to the 36 EMA, bouncing on it, and then you see this is the first white candle, the daily candle in making, and it just looks right now long again because on the lower time frames it broke the resistance again. So actually another big 1, 2, 3. So what is important right now? That this closes, of course, green or white in this case, and then actually creates a higher point on the chart. Okay, if it doesn't, if it stops here and starts ranging, it looks like a lower high, it might really go down to here. Then you can hedge up the position according to the rules, or you just wait and see what happens if the price reaches the support. Okay, if it's reaching it and creating another lower high, you can look for shorts, and then the weekly chart really targeting the 36 and the support line that comes from the weekly chart. But right now it really looks still very, very long, and it's powerful. So Vasily, are you still in that one, right? It's the same trade, or is it a new one? Is it a new one, or is it your old trade? Still the old one. Okay. This, you see, means that you practice a lot of patience, and that's the whole key, right? I can tell people all day long that they have to be patient. It will not sink in that much unless you really do it. And if you do it once, you start obeying your orders. Vasily says, yeah, it's not an order actually. It's the rule that will make you change as a trader, right? If you can stick to the patience rules, sticking to the system rules, saying, okay, I know the price in a big trend will start creating higher highs, for instance, in a long trend, higher lows. It will just retrace at some point, and it could go against me for some days even. Okay, but if you do the top-down approach and you get the picture, it won't be any problem. Yeah, it won't be a problem, not really, for you, and you just get used to it. You do it once, you do it twice, and you start growing your accounts. Okay, and then that's really where you change as a trader, at least in the mind, and it's really 90% probably in the mind, because the system, learning the system, the rules, looking at charts is something you will learn after 1, 2, 3 months mostly, right? You get the picture, you have the experience then, but then really you need to follow the rules and have patience, especially on the higher time frames. This will change, can change a lot. Okay. Great, perfect. So have fun with this trade and well done for keeping the position. What's your target actually? What's your target on this trade? Do you have any targets on the higher time frames? For instance, if I look at the weekly chart, I zoom out, you see the next area of resistance would be from 2006, 7 some areas here, and of course the highest point here is at 1.17. Okay, that's the peak it's pointing out in combination with some lows in this area. It's actually between 17 and 18. I put this here line here because I have a little bit data from back here 2005 and 6 in combination with the 633. Okay, so that's why we put it a little bit lower, but actually longer term targets, if the price is volatile, really explodes up, still should be in this area up here, right? I don't know if you agree or what you have on your what you have as targets, but that should be at least 113 should be a good target when it's reaching the 633, and then watching closely, seeing if it breaks, right, and reach the next area of resistance. You have 117. Okay, there we go. Well done. Okay, great. Perfect. So any questions here for USD CAD? I think it's all clear. Okay, let's go to the other pairs. We have also trades, you said, on GBP JPY. Okay, getting there soon. Euro GBP. Okay, here we have our trend line breaks and our 1, 2, 3s over the line. As we said, if we go for longs, it has to break this area, and we had 4 hourly 1, 2, 3s. The reason I don't trade this pair, I have it on the watch list, but it never really convinces me, at least not lately, because it's just not volatile enough. Okay, so we have a move of like 40 pips, 50 pips. It's just not what I like to see. So right now it breaks the resistance lines. Look at the weekly chart, it's still going down, right? It's actually still a downtrend. It's kind of breaking the lines here on the lower time frames, but it will be only confirmed if it breaks for good and then gives us a daily setup. Otherwise I wouldn't bother trading this right now. So it's not on the watch list for now. Euro CHF, I told you already that it might bounce and get back into this range. This happened, but also it didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, we have daily candles of 20 pips, so not good for now. Not on the watch list until it gets out here, so probably not for this week. And now we're getting to the Euro Yen. Kathy, you took it. It's a very good example actually. You took it and used the NFP rules, is that correct? Okay, could you explain exactly what you did, like in steps? For instance, entry, price, stop, targets, and then we discuss it. Take your time, right, with writing it down. So because what I want to do in this video, that now that we have the NFP live, we go over the rules again, and we have also a little video again explaining NFP, because we lost actually some videos when the site got hacked a couple of weeks ago before Christmas. So it would be good if we just make a new one here. Just take your time. So let me say this again. Everybody there? Okay. So weekly is up, right? Support is here. That's a weekly uptrend. We took advantage of the shorts, but now it looks like we get a white candle that says price might move higher. Price might move higher. Okay. So this is in making right now. And if you check the daily chart, what do you see? We have the bounce of major support, but we have also 1, 2, 3 in making. And this is again one of these situations where we say, okay, great. We had the shorts, look great. We took some trades on the 4-hourly and 1-hourly chart, but now it bounced on support, of course, as expected. And we have a daily short, but we have a weekly long. And again, that's where we have to watch closely, because if the price breaks up, we forget about the shorts. Yeah, price bounced on support, it already retraced almost 1,000 pips. Okay, so it might want to move higher now. And then, of course, the lower time frame is not in charge anymore here, but the higher, which is the weekly. Okay, and because the price is sitting on resistance, that's where we watch closely. Okay, let's talk about your NFP. Now that we have done the analysis, actually, if somebody knows the system, does the top-down approach, it's easy to understand when to enter NFP or not, or if it makes sense or not. If you don't know the system, you just have blindly to follow the basic entry and exit rules, and understanding how the market works and seeing on higher time frames where the market is going. So, or this pair in this instance, if it's an up or down trend, that helps you with taking trades on NFP, right? Did the top-down approach with weekly and monthly, Kathy says. Yes, exactly. So watch the 5-minute till entry candle above the NFP close, but was a big stop, about 100 pips. We'll have to check on other computer the entry. Okay, that's okay. We do it here together. It's a long entry. Yes, of course. Entry was 139.23. And let me switch down to the 1-hourly chart. Let's find the NFP candle, which should be this one. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm correct. Right. Is it the correct one? Because this broker actually has is a different time zone. It always confuses me here. Sorry for that. Give me a sec. That's on the 1-hourly chart. So I just place this line. I will switch to the 5-minute chart. And then I go back. Trying to find that. Here we go. So we have also the spiky thing here. So it's going up. Then we have NFP news, and you can see usually what happens. The first 5-10 minutes are the most volatile after NFP release. Correct? Now we know that the price. This here is our support line. Okay. Major support line, again coming from the daily chart. And we are actually in an uptrend. This was a down move of 1,000 pips, a retracement move, but on the daily chart was only a big long 1 2 3 setup, as I explained before. And here's support. So price moved over the 200 and everything. It tried to move up, and then we had the release probably in this area. Price moved up a little bit, but we need the patience, right? And then it moved down about 100 pips, and then we got like 2 3 4 red candles, and the price did range. But here we have support. Okay, so the basic rules, NFP rules, say after the NFP news, we get the NFP candle, which is the 5-minute candle that closes wherever it closes, okay, after the release. So it doesn't really matter if it spikes afterwards, if it's going down or up. It's important that we find the direction. So in case here we got the release, for instance, okay, price, even if it closed here, the entry, you can only enter the price if a candle closes above this NFP candle, right? So the price has to move actually higher, or a little bit at least, and then close over the high of the NFP candle. If it's that, it has to close here. Now let's assume that's the NFP here. I'm not sure which of both it's probably that one, exactly this candle. Okay, so actually now what you need is a candle, now that one closed down here, a candle that closes actually below the low of that one for a short entry. But we know something many traders don't know. We have the support here, major support, and if there was to break, it would really have broken down here at that point in time, and the price would really like break this for good actually, or play around in this area and then break it. But you see, it just stopped here, so it's a very good example. And then we had a range. The price was sitting on the 200, and okay, it's settling down after about 5-10 minutes, and that's what happened here. So a little bit volatility before the release and afterwards. So if somebody is too hasty and says, okay, look, NFP is in 1-2 minutes, but I see the price is going up already. Okay, so what the mistakes many traders do is they see the volatility, they jump in, they go long. Okay, but because of the volatility you can have with NFP, if they're not careful with their stop, okay, like putting a really big stop, they get stopped out. And in this case, because the lows are down here, even if you had a bigger stop of about 80 pips or 90 or even 100, you see what happened after the release. Price went down, it would kick you out, okay, and then it went your way again. So that's why it's so important that we wait for the NFP candle to close. First rule, right? And then we need the second candle actually to move lower and actually close lower or higher, depending on if you have a long NFP candle or short. Okay, what happened? Yes, it went lower, but that's not really important, because afterwards we didn't see the price moving low. It went back up and it closed up here. So in this case, the price closed after a little bit higher than the NFP candle. Okay, so even if you don't like that, you can use the next one. But which candle did you use for an entry? 139.23. It was probably that one, right, Kathy? Okay, perfect. So exactly according to the rules. Now, if you want to examine this a little bit, combining it with what you know, the spikes actually after the price relaxes, you can kind of ignore, yeah, if you get the direction out. You can even try to find a support line here, if you ignore the spikes, it would just look like that as it looked before. Not a big change in this example. It doesn't look like this always, but in this example it does. So okay, you could enter sorry, still a little bit sick here. You can enter the trade and placing the stop according to the rules below the NFP candle. That's a 100 pip stop, or at least below the lows you have here. Okay, but basic rules say below here, and that's 100 plus pips stop. Yeah. Now if you look at it, because the market settled down, you had major support anyway in this area. NFP did not move lower, but it moved higher again. You could just say, okay, that's the 200 EMA. I have major support coming from the daily chart. It's an uptrend. Let's wait for 1 2 3. Yeah, if the market is not too volatile, you might get a 1 2 3. And if you get this 1 2 3, according to what we know, you can have your stop here, 100 pips, no problem. But if you see you get this 1 2 3 and a nice 2 2 3 line break and slowly the price moving higher, you can start changing that. Okay, you can take the stop from down here and trail it actually below here. Then you have a much smaller stop now. The entry you had here and here, it's not a big difference, it's different about 15 pips actually. And now you have a 5-minute entry after NFP, still with a big stop of about 50 pips, okay, because of the volatility. But it is much smaller than the original one, and you don't know only how to trade NFP, but you know the whole Spartan system. You know what to do after the top-down approach. So if everything looks normal again after NFP and you get a confirmation of what you were looking for anyway, no problem if you take the stop and trail it. Okay, because I'm just saying that because you know better than just the basic NFP rules. Okay, remember the NFP system is also a very simple system if you don't combine it with anything. Yeah. And I have to make it simple because not everybody knows the system. Not everybody is joining, for instance, our live rooms. Okay, so people don't know the whole system. It would be way too complicated to try to explain NFP in combination with our Spartan system if you don't have a clue how it works, right? So you know the basic rules, but because you're a little bit smarter, and if you do the top-down approach and everything looks great anyway, you can start using this classic Spartan rules and apply them to NFP. If it looks good like this, it doesn't look always like this. Do you understand, Kathy, what I mean? Everybody else as well? Because what happens if you do that, you can still target your 100 pips, of course, but you could also take profits quicker. Yeah, you would be now almost, I would say, or probably, let me check from here. And here, almost targeting the second lot with a 50 pip stop now. Okay, so you would create, or you could, if not already, taken out the second lot, and then you have your win-win situation. And why do I say that? Because right now, remember, on the 4-hourly chart, of course, you have a crossover on the upside. It's hitting the 200. It might retrace back to where you started, right? Before it moves higher. But on the daily chart also, you have the 36. So the price is creating a short 1 2 3. It's also hitting resistance, your resistance line. It's really getting close to this area. Of course, you have been watching this, as you say, because you know how to read the market, right? So you have a big advantage, and that's why I would really, now with a smaller stop, taking out also the second lot, create a win-win situation. And even if the price wants to go down again and this daily short actually comes to life, you don't care. Yeah, it's a win-win trade. And you can actually keep the swing shorts if you have any running. But in case it moves up, great, then you just have one lot running, and then you have a weekly 1 to 3, and this 50 pip stop trade now caused by NFP could turn into a huge powerful swing trade. So it would be now the second or third big swing trade you would be in, Kathy, right? Still in CHF yen. Okay, we're going to talk about that as well. So well done. And I hope everybody understands now how to combine NFP with the Spartan system. Because lately, for instance, after NFP, crosses moved better and gave much better signals than the euro US dollar, for instance, or cable. Yeah, so when the markets change behavior, we have to adjust. We don't change anything, we just look for different pairs, that's all. Okay, great. That's a good one. So let's check what other pairs do we have. We see USD CAD, GBP, JPY. We said, okay, next one. Look at that. Euro yen, daily, GBP, JPY. Daily. It's the same, right? It really looks the same on the chart. We do the top-down approach, of course. Here we have a little bit more room in terms of support. The price could actually move down another 500-600 pips before it's reaching major support on the weekly chart. Now on the daily, let me see if we can find closer support by just extending those lines, and you see they end up somewhere here where the price bounced already. So another 1, 2, 3 in this area in making, and very important that the price either breaks and then it would continue this big swing long, or actually breaking the 2 to 3 line, and then we could look for new shorts. So who is still in that trade here? GBP, JPY. Edward, okay. So you took the sorry, you had the swing long. Did you also hedge short? or did you just keep the long? Okay, you closed long and the long, and you went short, correct? Okay, so let me check the 4-hourly chart. We got our shorts, of course, here, remember, and it's a win-win anyway. Now on the daily, I didn't trail the stop below the 36. I still have it over here over the trend line, and it's a win-win anyway. It would be great, actually, of course, if the price wouldn't be good for Kathy, but it would be good for me and for Edward if the price actually moves lower, because we still have the shorts, right? The same for the euro yen, but I'm not convinced of that, because as I said, especially the euro yen hitting resistance, if it really breaks that resistance, will probably go up quick. We don't have a confirmation on GBP JPY yet. Euro yen looks much more than a continuation of the longs, but we never know. It could change today. It could bounce, go down, and then in this case it would be still okay Kathy would have a win-win situation, so no problem. You can also trail the stop if you like to, if it doesn't look good anymore. But here for the shorts, it would be great, of course. And it could be in the next 4-8 hours that the price actually fails to break resistance on this pair and euro yen, and then really first moves lower before it bounces again. So we have to watch closely now at resistance on both pairs. This is the most important area. Yeah. And the target here, of course, the 200 EMA and an extension, as I said, the trend line that is close to the 36. In this case, you can draw it like this as well. It doesn't really matter. Here it's a little bit closer, easier for you to target 300 pips in extension, probably 500 plus if it wants to move lower. So good luck to us, to all of us here. Now, CHF yen, before I go and forget about that. CHF yen, there we go. It looks, the chart looks actually like the GBP JPY, right? Or euro yen, close to it. And what trades do we have running here? Who has positions? I'm just checking. Euro yen, GBP, Aussie CHF. Kathy, Kathy, okay, it's you. Long at 109.80.84. You still have that one. 109.80 something. Here we go. So price moved up 1,000 pips, right? Now it retraced a lot. So it's about another, right now, maybe 550 pips. Is that the remaining position you have? Did you also hedge it to the short? Okay, there we go. Make sure you send over the trading journal with all these trades so we can share it with others, okay? If you like to. Showing all these trades. Okay, well done. Hopefully this goes up. It's the same scenario. Here's the support. It's about 270 pips. Still it could go down, of course, and the price is sitting on the 36 EMA. So if you hedge this one up, no problem. It can go down or up forever as long as you are hedged up. Nothing bad can happen. And if it really moves lower, great. If it bounces here for good, you can get rid of the shorts, keep the longs, depending on what happens down on support, right? If it breaks, of course, clear break and probably 4 hourly 1 to 3 here would mean that you could get rid of the shorts and then keep the longs, of course, right? But we have to see. Same scenario here. Watch closely. Have all these pairs on your watch list. We might get some nice trades again these days here. That's what you're looking for. Okay, Kathy, great. Now we had other trades as well. Greg, Aussie CHF, is that correct? Okay, let's check. See where that one is. Aussie CHF, there we are. By the way, because the updates, MT4 updates, they made some changes there with indicators and EAs, how to upload them in the folders. And because I still use the older versions of MT4, didn't update anything, everything still works here. Now, if you have any trouble with it, if you go to the basic videos there, you will see I have some steps that I got from Jean actually, that tells you where to paste, copy and paste the indicator and EAs, so it works again on MT4, okay? Because they had some changes there with their coding, I guess, if you have some trouble, or if the way I explain it there, the steps don't work for you, let me know, and we'll figure it out, okay? Or if you have some ideas yourself, if you're a little bit techie and you know something we don't know, send an email, would be great. Okay, perfect. Let's check. Also uploaded some more trading plans and journal examples for you in the modules you can watch afterwards. Really nice ones and interesting also. Okay, there we go. What exactly did you do? Is it a long trade, Greg? Short on daily on Australian dollar CHF. Okay, where did you go short? Zero 0820 0820 08. When was that? Trying to figure out what you did. Yesterday. Okay, now I got it. You try to trade a bounce in the channel. Okay, I received your email yesterday, right? And said well done for trying it out and everything. Okay, great. Now, good that you mentioned this, because we have to talk a little bit about that. Okay, a bounce trade is a sometimes a little bit tricky if you don't look at it correctly. Okay, no, of course that's good if you just practicing. Look, if we look at this pair, what do we see? Is that a trend? Is that a range? What is going on here? Weekly chart. Anybody? I mean, it's a question for everybody. It looks short. If you look at the weekly chart, this looks like a range. Really? Just look at the whole picture. How does that look like? Everybody, please. It's very simple. You have your crossovers, you have the EMAs moving, angle of separation, the moving away from each other. You have the price moving lower. That's a downtrend, right? I'm not talking about the last two candles. I'm talking about the whole chart. Yeah, where you had a range that was somewhere up here, for instance. You see all the EMAs sticking together. It was a little bit up and down, and in the end came back down. So false break, and here you have a range. Yeah, you see the crossovers and all the time the same level, going up, going down. So here in this case you have a range of about 500 pips maximum. Yeah. So, and down here, that's a trend. The last two candles are range. That's a different story. Okay, right now, just the big picture. This is a downtrend. Okay, so far. Of course, in a big trend, you can have small ranges on retracements on lower time frames, but mainly that's a downtrend. Now, on the daily chart, what you have is this move up here. This kind of the range on the daily in this area. Price came out of that, and then it's trending again. And you can also connect touches, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches here. Okay, and because the price still created lower lows in the end on the chart, this is not a true range here, is it? It is a range in terms of if you like to, what is it going on with that thing? So there we go. If you like to, for instance, combine touches from down here and look at the lows, you will figure out that we have a bottom formation. No, we have touches on this trend line every time after these two touches and the third here. Yeah, we can say that we have a powerful trend line. Every time the price is touching this line, the price is bouncing on it. Correct so far? Yeah, so that line is a good line. It's a good support line. If we look up, we can find horizontal resistance. Yeah. If we just check all these touches, you could say, okay, not back here, but at least here and here we have resistance. So the price is in kind of a range because we didn't get a break up here. Yeah, the price created a lower high, it moved down, it bounced back up, it didn't stop here, it didn't move lower, it went back up, it stopped here. Now that is the trouble. If you have to start thinking too much and starting to draw too many lines, then it's getting complicated, right? You don't really know what to do. So yes, it is horizontal. That's a horizontal line, but you also have a trend line at that point. Yeah, that is also powerful. This line is as powerful as that line. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches here. Okay, that line broke. Price moved up. On the other hand, you have horizontal resistance there. Correct so far? So you have the price sitting between horizontal resistance and the previous line that acted as resistance, now acting actually in this case as support. Correct? You can also draw your support line from down here. So what happens here? We have a 36 EMA break, we have a trend line break, price moved over there, but we also have horizontal resistance in this area, and we have the price sitting exactly in between. That is a difficult situation. Do you agree with that? Now we draw the lines as we usually do. We didn't change anything. We know the main trend is down. It's a short trend. But also looking back at history, on a retracement, it often likes to range a little bit before it moves lower. So might happen here again. Okay. On the other hand, it's a daily chart, and daily charts have powerful trend lines if you can connect your 3 touches. So you have major, powerful, nice support, nice line here that Greg also drew on his chart, which was great. Nice bounce in this area. Price moved up. It didn't stop here. It broke the line, moved up 400 pips. It retraced, and right now that looks also like a daily 1 to 3 because we get that green candle here. So a daily 1 to 3 sitting exactly at resistance and over support. So we have 2 scenarios. Okay, so what Greg did, he said, okay, I see all that, I see that line here, and if I extend the line, probably his thoughts that, okay, now is the red candle here, I take the short as a bounce trade because the price failed to move over here, put my stop over there, and I target that. Was that what you were thinking? Yeah, it's not a bad scenario. The thing is, not every range is really a range, right? In this case, we don't have a clean or clear range. We have a big downtrend, and we have the price bouncing on support, breaking resistance, sitting between another resistance now and support. So it's one of these situations where you cannot really say that the price is trending or ranging. Okay, we have both, and that's when it's getting complicated, and that's usually when we I personally at least stay away. Okay, you practice here, and that's good, so don't worry about it. Here, if you check the 4-hourly chart, the price creates higher highs. Yeah, it hits major resistance in your area here, previous touches. You have 2 touches there. You have actually a higher point also a little bit there, but then it came down. Right now you still have 4-hourly higher highs, high lows, 1, 2, 3s. Okay, it's not like the price just moved up like crazy with no 1, 2, 3s, and you have the price actually bouncing. You see the price bouncing on support again after the 3 touches, and now breaking the line. Now that you have your stop in the correct place over the highs, over the highs that you ended, where you ended, but you have to watch closely now, because you are sitting between resistance, which is not like a really huge resistance on the daily. It's just one area of resistance, not like you have 3 or 4 areas of resistance before that in a range. It's just the only one you have. So it's not really a confirmed range, it's actually more wedge. Yeah, and you aggressively tried it, which is, as I said, okay. So I don't want to discourage you. It's range trading is very powerful, and bounce trading, but you really need to find the range, or the real range. Okay, so now you see the price is going up, and that looks like a daily 1, 2, 3. And I wouldn't change anything. Don't get rid of the position just because we're doing the analysis and you start seeing these things now. Leave it where it is and see what happens to the trade. Okay, and if it stops moving here, okay, and goes down in the end, you knew that that was an aggressive way to bounce trade, because this bounce trade is really coming from a trend. Can you see that? It's not like going up and down all the time. It's really in a trend. It's still creating lower highs and lower lows, and it kind of here. So if that kicks you out, you remember and say, okay, this looked like it, but it was not really confirmed. Like, I didn't have that much history in the higher time frames. We're still pointing down. Okay, so we have a downtrend. Price also broke a resistance line. That means there was power for longs instead of shorts also. Yeah, so you had both scenarios, longs and shorts in terms of bounce trading, but actually in a trend, so a little bit aggressive, and because of that, not a clear picture. Does everybody agree with that, or do you see it differently? Yeah, and if you don't have okay, great. If you don't have the clear and clean picture, you try to stay away. Now I'll give you an example of a range. Remember the Dow. Okay, this was a channel, because I know you were talking about a channel. Look, you have your 3 touches or even more down here. Okay, price moved up. They're actually spiking. Okay, it goes down, it finds the support with a spike, moves back up. Sorry for that. And when it came back up here, you see it tried to, and in the end it really moved down again. So again, the whole area, you can draw the lines like this if you like. Now here what you have 3 touches in this. It's a channel, right? It's a channel, but it's still a range in this channel. So at that point where you have 2, 3 here, and also confirmation from here afterwards when the price came down, this for sure is a confirmation. If the price bounces, ranges here, and you get your entry, yeah, a white candle again. And of course when it comes back up, hits the line in that range, and again you get a big green, a red candle. Okay, no, why not? First of all, it also breaks your uptrend. You see, you don't get 1 2 3 0 something, not even on the lower time frames, only probably on the 1 hourly. And then it also breaks your Heikin-Ashi line, yeah, kind of the trend line actually down here. The same thing it did here, and the same thing it did here, yeah, where the price broke that. So that looks very clear. Even down here where it broke, in the end it came back up, very, very powerful, broke the line. So you can clearly see the channel here and the break of this channel, and also the range in this channel, right? Compare this to, where is it now? Let me find it. What was the pair? To this, right? Compare the Dow. There's clear bounces and breaks to that, and you'll see the difference. That does not look close to that. And because we're talking about channels. Correct? You understand? So when the price hit here again, you had the range again, okay? There was an aggressive way to go, so it didn't really touch, but almost, okay? Didn't work. But then you didn't get any shorts anymore here, okay? Okay, perfect. So don't worry, it was a good example, and it was great that you took the trade so we could use it for this session, and we covered a very important issue. Yeah, perfect. Okay, well done. Great. Yeah, so we have now our pairs that on our watch list. We have our open trades still, and the ones you have to manage. Also NFP trades, bound trades. So we had a lot of action, and you see if the markets start moving, it's a lot of fun. And we get our setups and signals and trade, right? So sometimes it just needs a little bit of patience, and that's about it. Okay, perfect. So do we have any other questions? You know what to do with your positions. You know what to put in your watch list, and let's see what happens. And tomorrow, same time, I just have to change it there. Sorry about the dates. And same time, I'll see where we are tomorrow. Okay. So have a wonderful day, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye.